Let's get cracking!
Welcome back, everybody, to the American part of the Dota 2 Champions League. It is going to be Union Gaming facing up against Sneaky Nick's Assassins in another 2-game series, and the follow-up after that is going to be Navi US versus Not Today. I knew I had it in me to remember those names, so let's jump right into our first game of this series. I can go ahead and welcome in my co-caster, Mr. Statsman Haas, is going to be the person saving me from ruining my voice and hopefully giving me time to drink some of my hot tea that I brought because, good Lord, it is going to be a long night.
Hot tea with lemon, man. That stuff is OP. That's what got me through many a 3-hour stat lecture. But these are two really fun teams to cast. I really always enjoy casting Sneaky Nick's Assassins. I feel like they're always good for an entertaining game. And this is a great opening to the draft from them. TC was playing Razor before it was a thing. He is still tied for the career wins lead on Razor with KYXY. And Ush has had some terrific games in the one position as carry Doom lately, including on Monday, a win over EG where he went 9-6-17 with 603 GPM. They were on the Dire side in that match, could be on the Radiant side in this one, but still, you know, to me, Ush is really the story right now of Sneaky Nick's Assassins because now he's been pretty good this month. He's still in the top 10 GPMs of any player in Pro Dota 2 in terms of his average, but his KDA has been off a little bit, and we still have yet to see him return to that dominant form that he displayed this summer during the TI4 America qualifiers, which unfortunately they didn't quite end up making it to Seattle. But in terms of statistical metrics, Ush was probably the best player in those qualifiers. He hasn't necessarily gotten back to that level just yet. Meanwhile, on the Union side, they've started off with a combo that we've seen a lot of, the Faceless Void and the Skywrath Mage. I do feel that combo is slightly overrated, so I'm not going to go into that yet again, but they do go ahead and pick up then the Witch Doctor, which I feel like is arguably a better combination with the Void than is the Skywrath. Now, the one thing that I'll say, I don't necessarily like picking up your two supports this early in a draft. I feel like with the importance of support rotations in the current metagame, you're giving away a lot of information when you pick up your two supports this early, but we'll see. Skywrath is capable of being run as a core.
Yeah, I agree with you about the two supports thing. It's not as bad as locking in all your cores here in their first three, but I do agree with you that locking down your two supports in the first three is still gives away a lot of information, a lot of opportunity for SNA to be able to respond. I'm actually the opposite of you. I actually like the Skywrath Mage Faceless Void combination more than I like the Witch Doctor Faceless Void combination, and the reasoning for me is I still find Skywrath Mage to be a valid support when not paired up with the Chronosphere. I don't really feel the same as the Witch Doctor. I think he's still a viable support, but just not as good as the Skywrath Mage. So for me, I'm looking at him going, okay, what if you don't hit that Chronosphere Witch Doctor combination that you're looking so desperately for? In fact, it's going to be made even harder now that Tidehunter, one of the best counters to the Chronosphere, is in the pool, and that AoE Ravage, hey, if you're in range to be able to throw a Witch Doctor ultimate inside of that Chronosphere, you're also in range to get hit by the Ravage. That's going to stop you. So...
But let me go back to that point, though. Let me go back to my point about the cores, because look at what you've got here. Sneaky Nick's Assassins have indeed picked up their 3 core heroes with the first 3 picks in the draft. They don't. I know this just because neither Fluff and Stuff nor Whitebeard generally have been running the support position, the support Doom. I've seen Ush have a lot of success on this, so I'm assuming he's going to be a core. But here's the thing: a lot of the popular cores in the current meta are very, very flexible in terms of where they can go in lane. Yes, you have locked in your 3 cores, but you still have a lot of options in terms of how to lane this. I feel that Union are a lot less flexible in terms of their lanes right now. I mean, yes, you can still, especially given you're on the Dire side, go for a dual mid, but that went out the window because we are going ham, folks. You can't run from heaven.
Okay, so I think Zeus is viable. I'm just going to say outright, I think Zeus, extremely underrated, needs to be picked up more. That being said, not so sure about it in this matchup specifically, because we have Razor and Doom and Tidehunter. Those are kind of like some of the most popular tanky heroes in the current meta. Sneaky Nick's Assassins can also go ahead and grab some tanky supports from here. But I do think Zeus is viable. Zeus is not necessarily bad versus tanky heroes due to his passive static field, but it's less likely for you to be able to establish really early dominance, which is so important for the Zeus in those first 20 minutes of the game. So I'm having some issues with that last pick up here from Union Gaming, but I do agree with everything you were saying about cores and the flexibility of the current meta, where many of the cores are able to go pretty much anywhere they want.
Yeah, so Union Gaming have shown this before. They've run Citadel on Zeus. They did it just about a week ago in a victory over Not Today in this same event here. So they do have a history here, but I just feel like Zeus is so vulnerable during that laning phase. And again, you might have what you need here to cover it, and you certainly have just a huge amount of burst damage potential coming out of the 4 heroes on the Union Gaming side. But again, you get into that position where if they have a bad laning phase, all of a sudden that combo, despite its damage potential, isn't going to be able to bring down these heroes from Sneaky Nyx Assassins. And I mean, you do become a bit of a one-hit wonder in that situation, right? I mean, if you're not able to take down the Sneaky Nyx Assassins heroes with that initial Chronosphere combo, boy, you're in some major trouble in those fights. So I feel like, I'll say with Zeus, about Zeus, what I say about a lot of other heroes, that I think they can be viable, but to me, at the highest level right now, the question is always, when you're talking about these kinds of heroes, can you find a way for them to consistently have a good laning phase? Because there are all kinds of lane combinations that you see in amateur and semi-pro Dota that are a lot of fun and that are really cool, but that fall apart when you get to Dota at this level, because the consistency just isn't there. They'll have what you saw from Cedoy's Elder Titan in our last series. Well, they just have such a disastrously bad laning phase that their team is effectively out of the game. So really, whenever I see this kind of a thing, I'm wondering what we're going to see here from this Zeus against what will presumably be a Razor in the mid lane. And oh boy, hey, you know what? If you're going to go with an interesting draft, you might as well go whole hog. The Undying here. So Union Gaming to me are just all in at winning this game between 30 and 35 minutes, or between 25 and 35 minutes, or they're going to have a lot of trouble.
Yep, Undying as your aggro try, I guess. Zeus as the mid, faces Void 1v1 up against the Tidehunter. This is.
I think you could run Skywrath as a core here, and you could put maybe Void in the tri lane with the Witch Doctor and the Undying. But yeah, I think you're probably going to see Void solo safe lane, Zeus mid, and the other 3 in an aggro tri. I mean, it's a scary ass lane, man.
Yep, and there's a tanky support right there, Jakiro. So the Vengeful Spirit to deal with the Faces Void. And the Jakiro being a nice little tanky hero that won't care so much about the as much as the burst damage from Skywrath Mage and Zeus come in. That being said, I think they've drafted some of the best supports they possibly can to go around a Zeus.
Yep.
Skywrath Mage with his Mystic Seal, also increasing the magic damage coming in, makes it's not like one of those like, ooh, maybe like the Ancient Apparition, right, with his the AoE ground spell Ice Vortex. That one, it's not one of those like, ooh, if you put it right at the right spot and then you throw this spell on him, think how much damage it does. It's just Mystic Seal, Zeus ults.
Yep.
And you're talking about a huge burst of damage there that is pretty insane. The Undying as well, another hero, weakens heroes up by taking away their strength, taking away their max HP. That's going to be really effective for the Zeus to be able to burst down people. So I think all around they've done an interesting idea drafting with the Zeus here. But I agree with what you're saying about Zeus. He's not an early pick. He's not a pickup that you can go ahead and be like, haha, this is Zeus draft, into the 3rd or 4th pick, because the enemy team will draft around it. I think you're right. It's all about the laning phase, and in order to ensure a good laning phase, you need the element of surprise, and that's why I think Zeus belongs in the 5th pick category.
For sure.
And here, I honestly don't think that this aggro try is going to be the easiest in the world. SNA may or may not actually fight up against it, but it's going to be a Razor tri lane. Or no, actually, is it? It's going to be maybe because I just realized they have Doom and Tidehunter. So neither one of those is probably going to go mid, so it kind of has to be the Razor mid, I guess.
Yeah, I would definitely expect them to run the Razor in the mid lane. Just TC has been their mid player, and I feel like he is just in such a position to punish this Zeus in the mid lane. And yeah, I would have sworn that they were going to try to go try v try bottom lane here. And I think that's what they're going to end up doing, right? They're going to have, this is actually, interestingly enough, it's a 1v1 matchup that I've seen quite a few times lately, the Doom against the Void. And I feel like it's kind of a push. Really, it's determined more so by support rotations than anything else, but you can say that about a bunch of lane matchups these days. I really do think that they're going to end up having to send the Jakiro and the Vengeful Spirit here bot, just because otherwise I think Mike is just going to feed on his Tide. I mean, this aggressive tri lane of Union Gaming is set up so strongly to make dives and make kills early, and you might see 3v3 mid here.
Oh, yes, you might. The smoke gank, it's going to be all about who strikes first, and it looks like it's going to be the side of SNA. As they start going on the Zeus, the stun onto TC, they start wrapping themselves around. He has a ton of damage stolen, but he's already so low he can't actually lay any into it. Fluff and Stuff may be the first to die here. They're trying to pop Jericho, but Jericho's going to live long enough that they will get the first blood onto the Vengeful Spirit. And Citadel, well, great reaction from him, first of all, as he just ran up the cliff away from TC, and that cask bounce did quite the work there. It seemed like TC was stunned for a long period of time in that middle lane.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was Citadel's presence of mind to run forward and up the cliff instead of backward, which is kind of your instinct in that situation, that enabled them to get the first blood and possibly come out on top of that exchange. I say possibly because I believe it was Razor that got the kill there. Yeah, so it kind of counteracts that they got the first blood.
Yeah, if Zeus got the first blood, it would have been huge, right? He would have been able to have himself, well, he already has the bottle because you go for a fast bottle build on Zeus anyway, but like faster boots, which is really important up against a Razor or something like that. So the top lane Angel is going to be 1 versus 2 against a Vengeful Spirit and Doom. He can make this lane work rather easily, so it's up to the aggro try to really put on the pressure up against Tidehunter. That being said, the Undying pickup, well, it works well with the Zeus, I believe. The Undying does not work well against sneaky Nyx Assassins. Then I'll explain that in a second here. Well, Angel is taking a bit of damage, but he'll be fine. So the Tidehunter Anchor Smash, as well as the Razor Ultimate, kill zombies. So there's pretty much no zombies when the zombie house is laid down. And what is a zombie without his zombie buddies, you know?
Yeah, and this is, I was also going to add that this is one of the few cases right now where I really like Jakiro as a support, because that Liquid Fire can nullify the Tombstone. It does, I believe it does slow the zombies' attack speed as well, correct?
I have no idea about that one. That would require to actually hit the zombies, which I suppose it does, but does it burn the zombies?
It should. Yeah, but yeah, it should.
Does it kill the zombies?
It can.
We'll see.
Again, my understanding.
We'll see what happens.
We're going to see right here.
Tombstone is going to go out already. We have an Anchor Smash killing some of those zombies, but it doesn't look like Ike's Mike is getting out of this one, and Dying finds him. And the early level decay proving to be so fatal here, and they're going to keep on going, it almost seems like. Whitebeard is fighting a dangerous game here with Undying having a bunch of decay stacks, doing a bunch of damage with every single hit. The Witch Doctor also keeping them very healthy here with the Voodoo Restoration, continuing to chase him down. Whitebeard trying to pull out the jukes, but the last hit will finish him off. Xander, meanwhile, trying to get away from Ike's Mike, but low Vengeful Spirit. He'll put a stop to that escape real quickly here. Zeus going to be forced back by the Razor once again. And he's actually doing pretty well, sitting at 15-5 compared to the Zeus's 6-1. That is pretty abysmal CS rate for a Zeus, who should be one of the few heroes who actually can deal with that static link pretty well, which just because Arc Lightning, but...
No, I mean, and they have rotated down Fluff's Vengeful Spirit down here to the bottom lane. As painful and as risky as it is to go try against an Undying, I think you have to, because you saw how effective that Union Gaming was at diving at that low level, and that's what I thought was going to happen. That unless Nyx Assassins sent both of their supports down there, you were just going to see IX Mike getting dove all game long.
Yeah, and looking at the CS 19-3, it also shows how ineffective the Vengeful Spirit was as a support behind the Doom. Granted, like this now gives this lane goes the way of Faceless Void, but it's only going to go his way for a small period of time. But that period of time may be enough to get a kill. He's going to hit level 6 first before Ush does. Doom, being one of the biggest counters to the Faceless Void in the game, is going to be excellent once he picks up level 6, but due to the Vengeful Spirit being there, he has his experience gimped a bit, and the Chronosphere may be the first kill in lane instead. The smoke up from Fluff and Stuff as well as Whitebeard is just waiting for the Zeus to return back to lane. Like, he wasn't having a hard enough time with only 9 CS. He's now going to be dying. Plasma field.
This is what I mean about a Zeus. I mean, you know, these days there's just so much emphasis on support rotations. As a mid, you are going to get rotated on by 2 heroes at least a couple of times, and Zeus is just one of those mids that unless he gets off to a really, really good start in lane, he's going to have a very hard time surviving that.
Totally agree, man. I would love to see, so I think that, so I'm down with the mana boots just because his team is going to make a lot of use of it, but I really think he should build an Orb of Venom on Undying. I've found that to be extremely effective on and Undying because he gets so much right-click damage in, and he's so aggressive that being able to have that 12% slow makes a big difference. The same goes with the Faceless Void, actually, in this 1v1 matchup against the Doom. It's one of those items that makes a big difference. Zombie House in the bottom lane. Nike's Mike is going to be dove here. Silence up as well. The zombie's getting in a couple hits, slowing him down. Anchor Smash will kill them, but the Decay comes in, and that should be enough damage with another Decay. He's getting out of range here. Jericho, one more nuke. And that will be enough. Decay missed!
Oh!
He missed the Decay. It was barely outside of range.
Yep, I thought they had the kill there, but again, I mean, they can't stay in this lane. They can't stay anywhere near this lane without the Vengeful Spirit down there. I don't necessarily understand this rotation back up top.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, numbers can't play against you against an Undying, so...
Sure, for sure, but you can't afford to just sack the Tidehunter like this.
Well, we're going to see this tier 1 tower going down because of all this aggression. Teleports, mass teleports coming in. They're going to go for Whitebeard, fully committing to this kill, but they're going to be in really deep. As they should be able to get it. Whitebeard getting low as Silence goes out. Plasma Field wiping out all 3 of those heroes pretty much. They all get low. Whitebeard managed to actually get the kill on the Witch Doctor, but right before he died. And now they'll get the deny on the tier 1 tower. That is a beautiful exchange between them. And on top of that, they killed the Vengeful Spirit. Or not the Vengeful Spirit. Nice. They killed the Faceless Void.
Very, very nice. I mean, that to me is the solution right there. When you're having problems, when you know you kind of need to rotate that Venge, but you don't really want to. Well, you get a TP rotation from your mid, and that's a great solution. Meanwhile, Whitebeard denying himself to creeps to get that free ride back to camp.
Very efficient way of using your hero, and he's going to be going for a really fast Eul Scepter. Some of these supports, man, when they get a nice bit of a little boost of gold here, they go for the big item. And that's not really a big surprise, right? It's obviously easier to build into smaller components of items just because supports naturally are dying a lot. They can't really hold on to a lot of gold. But it's also kind of odd that we don't see upgraded boots or magic wand or those kind of smaller stat items that make it really nice during the laning phase for you.
Yeah, the brown boots movement is definitely a thing, but in this particular match, I really strongly agree with it. Just for the reason that early Eul Scepter gives you that much more one more option to lock down the Void inside of his Chronosphere, and also it gives you a way that if Zeus is ever out of position, you just use that Eul Scepter, get him up in the air, hit him with the Ice Path, and he's dead instantly. Oh my goodness, I have no comment.
If you guys haven't heard about
bit of a history
certain drama, we won't go too in-depth into it. Needless to say, pausing is going to be an issue for SNA versus Union Gaming, as there have been certain accusations that gone out, and there we go. The unpause is ready to go, and
there we go.
SNA is ready to go back into this Dota game.
Yeah.
We need a rotation to the top lane, by the way. We need a kill on. We need to make use of this Chronosphere. I was saying earlier, well, we might have the Chronosphere be the first kill. He never used it. Even when he had the level advantage.
And you can see Ush is past him in levels. Ush hits level 8 first, despite the Vengeful Spirit being more of a presence in lane up top, the Void being solo.
Yep, so they need more than the Witch Doctor, too, because at this rate, with maxed out Scorched Earth, you're going to out-regen everything the Witch Doctor is doing. So they need a better killing hero, and I'm not sure if it's just the Zeus ultimate that's going to give them enough. I fear that's not going to be enough, but we'll see. Another rotation's going to come in. Skywrath Mage, that'll certainly do the trick. That's enough burst damage, but now it's a question of whether or not they actually catch him. Ush may actually find another initiation before Chronosphere goes down. It's obvious they want to use the Chrono, but at the same time, Ush is looking to try and throw out the Doom because they got Whitebeard here on the side. Yeah. They spy out the supports, and Ush probably won't be aggressive now that they know the attempted gank here.
Right, and that's the thing. I mean, this is what good teams do. They know that that's exactly what Union Gaming is thinking at this point in the game, especially because Union has a lineup that is much more reliant on winning the laning phase. They know they need to make something happen, and they're going to rotate both supports up top in anticipation and maybe get a kill here on the Faceless Void.
Chronosphere goes out on Ush, looking for the Ice Path to stop Angel's damage. The cast goes out. There goes the ultimate as well, but it's still not even close to enough to kill Ush as they split their damage a bit. Vengeful Spirit already being taken down. There goes another Lightning Bolt. Not enough to kill Whitebeard. Once again, he survives with just 15 health. And the tankiness of that support somehow proves to be really successful. They do get it denied. The Witch Doctor, who was doomed up. Now Ush is going to be chased down even further. Time lock underneath the tombstone is perfect for Union Gaming. And they get a quick little kill on him. And the Zeus will just start zapping more things. So 8-6, they do get that critical kill on the Doom, but it cost Union Gaming a number of rotations to get it.
Yeah, it was definitely the tactical pause that helped set up that first hit bash there on Ush. I mean, come on, give me a break. No, I mean, that's kind of the thing. I thought SNA did a great job of anticipating what was going to be an obvious rotation of Union Gaming top, but this Union Gaming lineup is just incredibly strong at this point in the game, and so it is going to force SNA to play a little bit more defensively.
Teleport to the top lane. IX Mike has his Ravage, and looks like they're going to go for a kill here at the top, where a simple stun will set up on Angel. Ravage follow up. Nah, Angel. IX Mike decides he wasn't really close enough. Like, if you throw out the Ravage there, and Faceless Void has enough time to turn around and get out the time lock before those last tendrils of the tentacles get them, and you miss it, that's an embarrassing moment.
Yeah. And I think you hold on to the Ravage because it lets you pressure the tower here, and they have enough damage here to probably take down the tower.
For sure, Union Gaming are going to try and mount a response. They've got Benjas coming up here. Any early fights they should be trying to take with the zombie. IX Mike's going to be the first one on the front lines. There goes the Ravage. Time lock over the top. The zombie house has already gone out. Xander, meanwhile, is getting low, but the Voodoo Restoration keeping him alive until he finally gets taken out by TC, who will die from the Skywrath Mage. They get the tower, but they're going to lose a lot of heroes here in exchange. As Whitebeard's going to be slowed down, Angel. And there it is, double kill for Citadel. Gets in some much-needed gold as he drastically needs that next item. Middle lane, we have Benjas going up against Ush. Big tanky hero up against the Doom. He's going to try and chase him away. Doom is going to be committed here onto the zombie while Fluff and Stuff comes in with a stun. And Undying, with no extra supports here, will be dying as they just ticks out from Doom and Scorchers. So they get the tower as well as that kill on the Undying. Pretty useful rotation.
And you saw, right, despite the fact that Union Gaming cleaned up in that fight top, just showcasing the strength of their lineup in engagements at this point in the match, SNA do get 2 towers out of that, plus the kill on the core Undying. So they really do not come out that much for the worse in that exchange. And you can see, I mean, they're taking a lead off of this, despite UG's ability to prevail in these multiple hero engagements.
Yep, 3,000 gold lead right now by Sneaky Nyx Assassins, a 900 experience lead for them. Mask of Madness is picked up by the Faceless Void, and that seems to be the one silver lining right now for Union Gaming, is that they, off of taking that early tier 1 tower in the bottom lane, they've been able to get Angel a decent amount of farm where he will begin to start farming pretty heavily. Mask of Madness is a great farming item, and if he's able to grab an early Maelstrom on top of that, his farm really starts exploding from there. The Undying is sitting at a decent net worth as well. He's got a full-up mech as well as Arcane Boots. And is going to be grabbing a double damage rune, and if he doesn't soon, TC coming in with the Invis will take it away from him. But Benjas will snag it at the last second and shuffles his way away.
Yeah, and Union Gaming doing what I think they have to do right now. They need to deathball right here because their lineup, arguably, this is their window here in the next 5 to 8 minutes. I don't think their lineup is really ever going to be stronger than they are right now unless they manage to convert some fights here.
Yeah, it's rough to push into a straight-up Macropire that kills your creep wave right away, and you've just been delayed another 30 seconds when it comes to pushing down that tower. And that's either just an extra 30 seconds of farming time or more time for SNA to set up. The Tombstone is going to be set out very early on into this team fight. It kind of establishes some good control of the tier 1 tower. I don't necessarily blame it. I would love to see it a little bit farther forward that kills this copse of trees, which is a little bit more obnoxious for pushers like this, but it looks like they will claim the tower, as the Macropire was just used to commit to, like, hey, back them off, and we'll just buy more time for us farming and split pushing.
Yeah. Yeah, and precisely because the tombstone was down, they're going to back up, and they're going to try and respond bot here. Osh might be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, the ultimate was committed by the Zeus, and now with the ultimate from Angel as well. They will get the kill, and that was that combination we talked about, even if it wasn't enough to really kill the Doom. The Mystic Seal into the Zeus ultimate did quite a lot of damage there. Fluff and Stuff is going to be run down next. Time Walk to slow him, and the extra nukes from the Skywrath Mage ensure the kill. So Angel gets even more farm, and this is important because he needs those kind of kills to keep up with the Doom. He's only 1,000 gold behind the Doom. The Doom, obviously being the fastest farming hero in the game right now, with his mech, or excuse me, with his Midas. He does have a mech, but really it's the Midas Devour that gives him so much farm.
I mean, and Union Gaming very, very much on the clock right now. I thought you put it perfectly. They are the ones that need to be getting the kills, that need to be pushing onto SNA's side of the map at this point in the game, trying to force those multiple hero engagements. Angel does want to get one more item up. I don't know whether he'll go for BKB or Maelstrom here next. He's got about 1,900 gold. But Union Gaming, I still think they've got 5, maybe if they win a fight or 2, they may have a 10-minute window here, but they need to make something happen, and they need it soon.
Witch Doctor teleports away right as the Doom comes uphill, and they should know that this is going to be a 5-man here from SNA, and they're going to need everyone on the side of Union Gaming just to be able to defend it. I personally would side with the more fully aggressive option for the Faceless Void and go for a Maelstrom. But that's just because I don't see them winning any fights without a heavy amount of damage. Now, the Doom not quite going out. The Mystic Seal will put a stop to that one. A beautiful Ravage, though, is going to be dropped down. There goes the Zeus ultimate, and the Doom still goes out on vengeance, but he already gone off many of his abilities, including the Tombstone, which is going to be forcing back the Razor. Ike's Mike also getting low. Angel unable to finish him off at the last nuke. Will do the trick. Double kill. And Benji's also going to be not going to be denied. Fluff and Stuff runs in with an urn. Angel, he needs a backtrack. Not going to get it. Not enough of them anyway. And he will be dying to the Razor. 3-for-3 exchange. And they got the tier 2 tower off of the fight.
Huge win by SNA there. I mean, the fight nominally is even. But if they're winning fights at this point in the game and getting a tower out of that, that is just so huge in terms of where in the game they are. Their lineup just has so much more potential for growth. Whitebeard is just about going to have his Yule Scepter out of this. And that, again, you said that you want that offensive build on Void, but I think they're about to have too many options to lock Void down in the Chrono, and he does appear, well, I guess you can't really tell from the Mythorhammer, but I think he's got to go BKB here. I don't think they have enough options to deal damage if Void gets disabled in his Chrono.
Yeah, I would probably agree. It's the biggest issue is going to be the fact that the biggest problem is Union Gaming, they shouldn't be losing these fights, right? Because they picked up both a Zeus and Undying. Those are your primo 15-minute team fight heroes, and they still don't walk away with a win.
Yes. And that's the thing. You can look at the individual fight and you can say, well, it was 3-for-3. They traded evenly. But no, I mean, just the way the lineups look, Union Gaming need to be winning these fights decisively.
The instant stun onto Xander. They still get the kill on the Doom, and I think Fluff and Stuff just added in an extra kill as he commits once again to trying to kill Xander. Won't be able to get it. Ike's Mike. Looks like the slow on Jericho. The cast bounce. Oh my god, it bounced to TC. That is a perfect hero to hit right now. And now Angel actually going to go for the kill here. TC already getting low. He will die. Ike's Mike up next. Beautiful ice path, but a blinking Zeus will ensure the kill into the Tidehunter. Union Gaming now pursuing for more. Angel. Time Walk is up, but he's too far away. Is he? There we go. Yeah, don't time.
Very strange decision there by Sneaky Nick's Assassins, just not showing the kind of respect to Union Gaming's lineup. And, you know, look, they've been playing well to trade evenly with this lineup, but it doesn't take that many kind of fights for this Union Gaming lineup to get the kind of momentum that they need here. I wish they would not have committed to that fight with the Razor and the Tide.
Yeah, when you don't have a minus on the Faceless Void, there's no reason the Void should be gaining ground on the Doom. He's only 500 gold behind him now. And he's got his farming item, Maelstrom. So he's going to start exploding his farm even more. I don't know if they need to take the time to finish up a BKB now that they have the farming item. Angel will farm up very quickly, and maybe he can get a quick BKB in the next nine or so minutes.
There's not enough time. I think I very strongly feel that they have to force fights before that. Another 9 or 10 minutes into this game, Again, I go back to the fact I don't think Union Gaming, unless they take several consecutive fights, I don't think that they're going to be any stronger relative to the SNA lineup than they are right now at this point in the game. I still say they've got to stay on the offensive here.
Well, what big things of growth are going to be coming up for SNA? Well, first of all, it's going to be a Blink Dagger for the Doom, but I think that was always kind of an issue to begin with, which is if the Faceless Void gets doomed, I think you're kind of screwed. Especially as we go later into the game, right? As the Zeus is always going to be somewhat effective, especially due to presence of items like Veil of Discord, which make him a lot more powerful than he was back in Dota 1. That item makes him so much more powerful than he used to be. But going on, basically, the Zeus is going to start dropping off. The Zombie will eventually definitely start dropping off. Jakiro, another hero that is going to... Not the Jakiro, I'm sorry. The other two supports aren't that bad, actually. Whitebeard is going to be caught out by the stun drops. Oh my god. That burst damage, though. Angel has just been hit by both the Ravage as well as the Doom. He's out of the fight. There goes the Zeus ultimate, but these tanky heroes, man, they are going to survive, and now Zeus is kind of stuck. He's going to try and teleport away. Is he going to cancel his teleport here? Looking for a blink, possibly. He's going to be slowed down by the Gush. Should be right-clicked down. He's getting back to the Tombstone. Plasma Field will be able to wipe him out. IX Mike will survive. TC now just running through the Tombstone to be able to finish off that Undying. And now Blink in from Ush gets ahead of Jericho with the Centaur Stomp and a 4th kill for Union Gaming, all because of the fact, well, perfect Ravage from IX Mike. That initiation, which put a stop to the Faceless Void's attempt at a Chronosphere. If he'd gotten off the Chrono, it would have been maybe an entirely different team fight.
Oh, hugely different. No, that was all Ush. Getting off the Doom onto the Faceless Void there, and that's the risky run, right? That Blink Dagger on Doom is huge, and that's kind of what I asked myself, that TC is going to have his BKB right here coming out, I believe. Doom is going to have a BKB here as his next major item, I would expect. And as those BKBs start coming up from Sneaky Nyx Assassins, I don't think the Void is not that farmed. I don't think Union Gaming are going to have enough damage to win these fights coming up, which is why I thought they needed to stay on the offensive there.
Well, Union Gaming, I think now their only option is to fall back on late game. They can maybe try and force one or more team fights, but obviously it's not ideal, right? Because they're running just one hard carry that is countered out by the Doom pretty extensively.
Yeah, but this is good here. I like what they're doing. I think right now the best thing they can do is they can try and get an Aegis on the Void and go right back in there to fight.
I agree with you, Citadel. They do know what's going on, though. SNA are going to start making that rotation. Damage. They do not have a Ravage either. So even if this fight does come to place, it may be a risky one, where it's going to be taking down Fluff and stuff. Taking a nuke here. Citadel jumps in pretty deep here. They almost pop Fluff and stuff, but the result is Zeus still gets hit by the stun. Now he's going to be targeted by TC. They need a time lock proc. Angel fighting up against that one now gets Doom. The Undying Tombstone plus the Witch Doctor Ward is not going to be forced enough. Sneaky Nyx Assassins will just run right through it. They got the one kill that they wanted. They also intercepted Roshan. No sense to try and force continued team fights here, especially with the Ravage just now coming off cooldown.
But you can see, though, what I was saying there about the BKB.
Oh, yeah,
Racer ate a big chunk of that Skywrath Mage Mystic Flare. He was at 50% HP, a little bit lower than that even at the very beginning of the fight. He popped that BKB, and there was just nothing they could do to him. He popped that BKB, and basically his HP didn't move again for the remainder of the fight, and he sat there getting that Plasma Field off, getting that Link damage off. I mean, they're going to have the same problem with Ush's Doom coming up here in about 2-3 more minutes. Actually, it looks like he might be going Heart here. Interesting.
Okay. Fair enough.
Casual Vit Booster isn't bad either.
Yeah, casual Vit Booster, just because there's so much nuking damage that an extra 250 health can make a pretty big difference for you. So I'm fine with either option, honestly. I mean, I think it doesn't really matter too much what the items are. It's just more the fact that they're getting items.
But they're going to have Ravage up here if SNA realize what's going on.
Which I believe they do. TC is going to start searching with the Plasma Field. Might be a bit too late, though. Roshan's going to go down here in the next 5 seconds. Smoke up. Fluff. IX Mike. Go for it, buddy. Nah, it's too late. I think it's too late. Maybe not. 59 health. Get it? Somebody get it. Grab the Aegis. All right, we're good. They got the Aegis. IX Mike doesn't initiate, and we're good from here. It always bugs me when people don't instantly pick up the Aegis.
Yeah, same
it's
thing.
Like, why didn't you plan this beforehand? You had 10 minutes of farming up Roshan, where you could have been like, I'm going to grab the Aegis. I'm going to sell this item in order to get this Aegis. yada yada yada.
I know. It's probably pointless, but it's just one of those butt clenching things that it's like there's an Aegis on the ground, guys.
And the enemy team knows you have not picked it up yet, so you might want to do something about that. Veil Discord is picked up by Zeus, which makes him a lot stronger between the Skywrath Mage and his 45% increased damage, and then an extra 25 from Veil.
Yep.
Yeah, 25 from Veil.
25, sorry.
I never doubted myself.
The Blink Veil is a very good build in this situation. I expected Ush to go BKB. I almost still do, even with the Vit booster purchase. And then the question to me just becomes, what are they going to do? Tide's going to have a pipe too. That's also going to be a really big deal.
Either that or this is Vitality Booster, like the value Vitality Booster into Scotty, into a Heart after that. Which is sort of the more offensive option, just because the Veil, their Shivas isn't as good. Oh my god.
Solo Chrono on Fluff.
Yeah,
interesting.
I mean, is that necessary?
And now Void's got the debuff too. I guess it doesn't really matter. It's going to be 30 seconds.
It's on someone else. Void doesn't have it on him right now. It goes on the person who gets the kill, I believe.
Yeah, it's supposed to.
Which is the Skywrath
it was
Mage.
Skywrath that got the kill.
Yeah.
That was weird because I actually then I was showing I still graphically when I clicked on the
it's
Faceless
AoE,
Void.
right? It goes on the hero and it's in a 900 AoE around that hero.
I'm dumb. Okay.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's a new mechanic, man. I honestly had still sometimes question like, is it the closest hero the hero gets the kill? I can never remember.
Okay. Yep.
So.
No, that makes sense. I completely forgot about that AoE, but even with this, right? SNA is able to get the tower trade.
Yep. The better tower trade if they get this middle tier too.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Glyph is going to protect it for the time being, and SNA will back themselves up. Pipe is almost finished here by the Tide Hunter and Union Gaming. Looking for an ambush.
Easily really nullifies the Zeus's Veil.
Swaps TC in. He's like, you're tanky, you'll be fine. And, well, he actually is fine. So, Mjolnir is picked up by the Faceless Void for full YOLO mode right now on Angel. Which, is there any other build when you're this far behind? I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, it's not just, that's the thing, and when you say this far behind, it's not just the golden XP leads that we're talking about. It's the golden XP leads combined with the two lineups. I mean, they just have not, Union Gaming have not gotten done enough by this point in the game. And I mean, I said at the very beginning, this is this 25-minute mark is really the time that their window starts closing. And, well, what can you say? I mean, they need to make something happen here in the next couple of fights, or I just don't see them winning past 35 minutes or so.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, they have late game options solely because they have a Faceless Void. They're not good options, but it's options where if we don't initiate the fight, we lose the fight. Like, if we initiate, maybe we don't lose the fight, sort of thing. But if they get initiated on, if the Doom is put on the Faceless Void, then they're kind of screwed from there, so.
IX Mike with absolutely no fear up here in the top lane.
Yeah, he already blinked himself away. Angel's going to trap him here inside the trees, and, well, he's not messing around, man. He just used a Chrono just to kill him. Of course, the Chrono was just used on the Vengeful Spirit, and that's one of the beautiful things about Faceless Void, or one of the really overpowered things, the rather large, or rather low cooldown.
Yeah.
Angel, and that wasn't the teleport you wanted, friend. Maybe they can still force the fight, though. TC has just been hit by the Veil. They need a Time Lock proc or something, and not going to get it. Angel comes in too late with the Time Walk in order to get the stun. And there is no Roshan. I don't know why they even check. I guess they're checking for a support, I suppose.
I guess somebody might be hiding in that pit trying to TP out, but that seems a little bit optimistic. There's what's that line that Juggernaut has about bravery and something else? IX Mike a little bit too ballsy up there in the top lane, but that's fine. That's not the kind of trade that's really going to kill their chances. And he does have his pipe now. When he respawns, they can go right back to it. And I mean, I'm not convinced that. Let's see where Ush is progressing. Still not an indication on his next item, but I mean, if I'm SNA, I might just get my BKB up on my Doom and just go.
Yeah. Speaking of that, is it going to be? He's had 3K gold for a while. Has he
Yeah,
purchased
that's what
an
I'm
item?
wondering. He's not.
He's got
not
the full
committed
heart.
yet.
He's full heart.
Oh, he is. Okay.
He's got a recipe. So.
I didn't see that on the courier. All right. No, that's fine, and especially with the pipe coming up on the Tidehunter, I mean that fills almost the same role. They don't necessarily have all that many disables on UG anyway. I mean, BKB doesn't stop you from getting chronoed. It's mostly just the damage mitigation, and that's part of why I think pipe is such an underbuilt item. That in a lineup that's light on disables, BKB is not always the best way to mitigate magic damage.
Zeus is going to use his ultimate because there were, I suppose, so many heroes off map, I guess. Still, the tier 1 tower will go down in the bottom lane, and they will trade it for the tier 1 tower and the top lane. And Unity Gamer are going to continue this push and try and go for tier 2 for a tier 2. Honestly, I don't mind this. When I feel like SNA are ahead, trading towers isn't beneficial to them. And that's why I think they're going to back up and go for the fight here. Tidehunter is going to be leading this. Ravage goes off, catches 2. And Angel barely gets off the Chronosphere. Maybe they can finish off one of these heroes. He's going to start taking down Ike's Might, but look at the damage that is coming down just from some of the AoE. During his Mask of Madness timing, Jericho's going to be eliminated. On the right side, they have the chase onto Zeus. Ush, unable to stop that one. And on the left side, Xander will be seen, swapped, and taken down. 4-0.
This is the thing. It's 5 minutes too late for that. You saw how they got the combo off. It was fairly nice Chronosphere, but there's just not the damage, especially with Razor already having his BKB, with Doom having the heart up now. They just don't have the damage to bring down this SNA side. We talked about this early on in the draft. The concern about this tankability, if that's even a real word, on
now.
The SNA side, it applies that much more when you let them get up their core items like this. And SNA have done what they needed to do. They held off the very aggressive draft from UG in the early game, and it looks like they're going to take this one home.
Yep, tankability is a word, by the way. It's a caster word because there's a difference between survivability. There's survivability and tankability. Puck has survivability, but doesn't have tankability, right?
Fair enough.
Right?
Fair enough.
That is a difference, detonation. I say it's a word. TC is going to be fighting up against, Fluff and Stuff actually taken out on the side as Jericho gets in a sneaky little Mystic Flare followed up into the ultimate, and none of these heroes should be caught. TC's fast enough to stay ahead of Angel, and his pursuit may make a small pit stop for a double damage rune, or not. Yeah, who needs damage? Who needs damage? Yeah, really, who needs damage? He goes ahead and denies the double damage rune. All right. He's like, screw you, I've got Static Link.
Wow.
That's all the damage Razor needs.
And oh my goodness, as if things couldn't get worse, Razor now building into a heart of his own. Yikes.
Yep. So Zeus, his best ability is actually Static Field right now.
Oh, by far. By far.
Like, that's the only way his nukes are significant. Even against the tankiest heroes, Static Fields is obviously more and more effective, and so hopefully he's going to be able to get a lot of opportunity to spam out Arc Lightning over and 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 over again.
Yeah, no, I mean, Zeus is like this part of the game is not the problem for Zeus. I mean, Zeus is a better hero into the mid game than people think. He stays relevant longer, I think, than a lot of people give him credit for exactly the reason that you said. It's all about the laning phase, though. Yeah. And I think he kind of saw that TC's Razor was able to get everything he wanted done mid, and that's really why Razor is so popular anyway, that when you get that Drum Ags BKB up so early, he's a one-man wrecking ball.
Yeah, I mean, the Zeus needs to be able to have that nice laning phase in order to get a fast mobility item, Force Staff or Blink Dagger, get a Veil Discord, which I feel is a necessity for him, and then turn it into an Aghanims, and then go into, like, Ethereal Blade or Refresher. There's many different late game builds on a Zeus going from there, but if you don't actually start that snowball, and you can still go into the late game and have a lot of viability if you have those kind of items, which is why, as you say, laning phase is so important. You need to be able to establish some sort of snowball from Aghanims into better team fights, into items like Ethereal Blade and Refresher, because even that late into the game, many heroes are either running low on their BKBs or on their BKB charges, or don't have BKBs, and they're still susceptible to that amount of incredible amount of magic burst damage that no one can really match except for heroes like Morphling with the Ethereal Blade or a Tinker with a Dagger. And that magic damage, we've shown that magic damage is still perfectly viable going into late game, as long as you have enough of it.
Yeah, and that's going to be I mean, to me though, I always ask the question, when you're talking about the viability of your hero, is there another hero that does almost the same thing better? And the question I always ask is, what's the benefit to picking a Zeus over, say, a Queen of Pain? Right. I mean, is the global ultimate really all that much better? Is the percentage-based magic damage really all that much better than what Quap brings? Because she's a much better laner, she's a much better farmer as the game goes on. It's not that I think Zeus is not viable, no, far from it. And I think that the true sight changes to his spells are very, very interesting. The lightning bolt change for dewarding. It's a matter of finding that perfect lane setup that's going to allow him to have success.
But does Quap have as kick-ass of voice acting as Zeus?
No. I mean, no. I'm
Good
sorry,
God,
but
mortal! I'm under attack.
Yeah. You got to shit talk as a Zeus. I'm sorry if you're playing Zeus in a pub and you're not spamming out, you can't run from heaven, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, if you're not telling people that you're going to turn into a swan and do terrible things to them, then it's just not the same Zeus. Honestly, it gives you more power to the lightning bolts you're chucking around.
I am staying so far away from the later references, Cap. No, I'm not doing it.
I'm leaving that open enough that you guys know what Google is. You can figure it out for yourself, or you can join me on one of my late night pub streams, which may happen tomorrow actually.
Yeah, they don't build maidens like they used to anymore. That happened all the time in Greek mythology. Anyway, I'm off it. On to other topics. So, yeah, Union Gaming looked to be going into what? Oh no! As I say that, they're gonna TP back to the base here. They do have a pipe on the Undying, but it's just not the same impact as the pipe on the Tidehunter here. And IX Mike, boy, you let this go another couple of minutes, he's gonna have his refresher.
Yeah, about that. That's well, I mean, you still don't have a BKB for Faceless Void. He's going to build it soon, though. And it will be a 10-second BKB, so that'll be nice. Really late game 10-second BKB. Maybe they can make a lot of happen with that. As long as he locks down the Doom and either kills a bunch of heroes during that Chronosphere timing before he gets doomed up, or he kills the Doom, which is pretty tough to ask, seeing as you have a Shivas and a Heart. This is one of the tankiest heroes in the entire game now.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the problem to me is that even with a perfect Chronosphere, they can all but ignore the Void. I mean, he doesn't do that much damage, especially with the armor that they're going to have. And how is the rest of Union Gaming's team going to stay alive through what's going to very soon be a double Ravage?
I'm kind of surprised that SNA haven't quite forced it yet. I suppose there's nothing wrong with them farming up more. Just okay, BKB is going to be up soon for the Faceless Void. That's a pretty significant pickup. And in fact, he already has it. I would have expected them to try and continue to force it, but as you said, double Ravage and all this sort of thing. Right. It's not like they're losing much power.
They have plenty of potential still, and they can afford to do something like this to try and smoke up and get that perfect initiation. Just stack the odds as much as they can be in their favor.
Angel, this is not what you want to have happen.
No! I am shocked that Ush didn't just blow the Doom immediately.
Yeah. Looks like he was halfway through the animation, but yeah, he definitely had opportunity to do it there. Huh. But still, they do have a opportunity to do Roshan as well if they do get a pick off. There's also bottom tier 2 still up.
Timely double damage on Razor here. This I think is going to be the game decider right now.
Get a jump. Get a jump. Not just on a fluff and stuff though. Into something much better. Or go for Roshan. That's also good. BKB activated by Angel.
I don't know that. Yeah, SNA didn't see him. The fact that it was nighttime right there. Okay, but they are pinging out. They know what's going on here.
All right, well, that means the BKB use just completely screwed Union Gaming.
Yep.
That's a 10-second BKB. That's on cooldown for a very, very long time. The double Ravage is going to be very real. IX Mike, first one in. Shivas, they already have the ultimate going out. They're going to try and finish up Roshan during this time. IX Mike is sitting on the side. He's going to finish off Jericho. The Aegis is picked up by Angel now. Now he's going to go in, trying to get some sort of escape. Ravage number 1 going off. Anchor smash on both of them. He's going to be able to time walk himself away as IX Mike doesn't have the refresher up anyway. So Angel trying to get out. No, could not get that backtrack. And time walk up in 2 seconds here. Fluff and Stuff going to be able to get the stun though. And during that small period of time walk away, Angel getting some distance here. The heal comes out. This time another Gush comes in. Again, can't backtrack. And TC starts focusing on the Zeus, who did get swapped in by Fluff and stuff, and will be able to get that one kill, as he just cannot get away from him beyond Godlike. And soon to be another one as Jericho being targeted here. Fluff and stuff takes an earn and will barely survive up against that Skywrath Mage. Tidehunter actually claiming the last hit. They'll take this tier 2 in the bottom lane and also get their refresher for IX Mike.
Very nice positioning by the Vengeful Spirit in that fight. Razor is not the best in terms of his right-click power, but that Vengeance aura really does a lot to supplement that. And the fact that Fluff was able to keep himself alive through that fight, including, as you pointed out, swapping out the Zeus, really nicely played by him.
Now TC lets loose the Eye of the Storm. Already his Doom has gone on to Angel, and this time he will not be escaping. Centaur stun on the Vengeance as well. They'll kill the Tombstone real quickly. TC just going to focus on buildings. He also has an Assault Cuirass if he wants to make a pit stop into the pit, but that's not going to happen, as Union Gaming will call GG on this first game of the 2-game series between SNA and Union Gaming.
Yeah, I like what they tried to do, Union Gaming, with their draft. They just weren't able to get quite what they needed in the early game. They showed some signs. They were able to contest, but again, this was just a draft that if they let it get past the 35-minute mark, they just weren't going to get anything done. Do expect them to pull out another interesting strategy in game 2, so stay tuned, guys.